Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brothas Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ followers perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with KD Smooth at One Brothas Mind. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's KD Smooth coming back at you with a new report this evening. Family, I hope you all are doing well and are safe. But family, we need to talk about something. This is more of an update report we're going to do, talking about the monkeypox. Yes. So just before we get started, family, remember to please smash the likes, share on all your social media and with all your peoples, as well as make sure you're subscribed to One Brothas Mind Channel here, as we try to provide you with the information and facts you need, especially a lot of information you're not going to get early from most other places. So make sure you're definitely subscribed so you can get the alerts when we go live or when we upload new content. Okay, family, we need to talk about this here. The monkeypox. The monkeypox is loose. I did two previous reports on this, and most people that I mentioned this to looked at me like I was crazy. Same thing with what happened to the previous issue that has now killed over 1 million people in the U.S. and the one we can't talk about on YouTube, we call it here the Predator. This went down the exact same way. I'm not saying the monkeypox is going to be that devastating. I don't believe it will be, based on the information that is currently out. But it's still going to be a problem. Okay, it's going to be a significant problem. Yeah, family. So let's chop it up on this here real quick. When I did my previous reports, there was only approximately 3,000 cases, confirmed cases throughout the world. Okay, and that was up until June. Okay, since June, which is just a little over approximately a month or so ago, that 3,000 cases has turned into 16,000 cases in more than 75 countries and 5 deaths from it in Africa. Yeah, 16,000. And that's just confirmed. Now, y'all remember, we done been through this. Y'all know, the confirmed cases number and the actual number that's out there are significantly larger. It could be anywhere, who knows? It could be 20, 25, 30,000. Just unconfirmed additional cases. So, yeah, I KD Smooth tried to tell y'all monkeypox was going to be a problem. And I'm going to explain to you why here in just a moment. In addition, or as a part of those cases here in the United States, the United States has identified the first 2 monkeypox cases in children. Okay? In children. Now, As I reported in my previous reports, and you can see those, I'll have those posted at the end of this video. I'll provide even more information. But the mainstream media, them fools, in fact, I'd say it's the government, or I would say go as far as say it's Western governments or European governments. Okay, they all launched a plan in regards to the talking points that they wanted to spread about the monkeypox, and most of them are lies, y'all. Okay, the primary talking point that they've tried to report and spread, and they've said it on every report, is that the monkeypox is endemic to Africa. While this was true, okay, that means it's just existed over in Africa primarily. It was secluded. While that part was true, that wasn't their point of reporting it that way. Their point was to suggest that this whole thing was being caused by black people. That was the point that they wanted to get out. Pretty much every report had a picture of somebody black with monkeypox. They wanted to push that. Okay? But if you separated what you were seeing on your screen, and like you just close your eyes and listen to the report that they were making, at the same time of showing that it was, endemic to Africa, and you showing black people with it, the outbreak that they were reporting on was in Europe. Okay? With Europeans. Did you catch that? Okay. While they kept trying to stress and show people, black people with monkeypox, it was Europeans that were having the outbreak. Okay? So, definitely don't sleep on that, family. Definitely don't. And now, again, the U.S. has reported 2 kids, okay, that have had confirmed cases. Now, in addition to that, the other talking point that the government, the European governments, and mainstream media have tried to really push is that the monkeypox is only spread through the male homosexual community. That's a lie, y'all. That's a lie. You say, how you know, Katie Smooth? I got you. If that was true, then majority of the cases that are breaking out in Europe would have been within the European male homosexual community. And that's not true. There's children, there's women, there's everybody. All people from all walks of life are coming down in Europe with the monkeypox, as well as in the other 75 countries that it has spread into now. It's not staying exclusive to the so-called male homosexual community. Okay? Don't believe that lie, y'all. You can end up with the monkeypox. All right? As I said, Europe is currently the global epicenter of the outbreak. This is reported by the WHO, the WHO, the World Health Organization, reporting more than 80% of confirmed infections worldwide in 2022. The U.S. has reported more than 2,500 monkeypox cases so far across 44 states, including Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. Okay? Now, a lot of these cases in the last, say, 6 weeks, this significant increase that has caused the WHO to declare a global emergency for monkeypox. One of the reasons why they've also done this is because they're finally they're being forced to admit that a lot of the people who have had confirmed cases of the monkeypox, they've not traveled internationally, meaning they contracted the monkeypox virus locally to where they live. Okay? So that blows the whole endemic thing in Africa out of the water. They got it where they live. They didn't travel nowhere, nothing internationally or go over to Africa. No, they got it from somebody where they live. Okay? Now, here's the thing. And you gotta really listen to what they're reporting, family, and put your discernment hat on. Okay? In the current outbreak blow up, the symptoms have been atypical, right? Meaning you get flu-like symptoms at first, and then if so, you end up with a rash or rash-like, bumps and whatnot on your genitalia, but actually it can show up, the rash can show up anywhere, okay? But that's atypical for people to get it. But they're having to admit, some people are developing a rash first, while others are showing a rash without any flu-like symptoms at all, okay? And again, many patients have developed a localized rash on their genitalia and their anus. Family, this is not something that you want, okay? It's not something that you want, okay? And remember, there's reports. There was a lady that reported she came down with it. She had a rash all over her face. It was all over like her neck and everything area. And her face was swollen and all of that. Okay, so that wasn't her genitalia. Okay, so the rash can show up anywhere on your body. Okay? So be clear about that. Also, you need to understand that the monkeypox can be spread through respiratory droplets or through your breathing. Okay? Yes. Now, at least right now, it's not reported that it's as transmissible through respiratory or through the air like the predator was, right? But because they're reporting it respiratory droplets, it's not aerialized, if you will. It's like the droplets, the little moisture droplets that come out of your mouth when you're talking and breathing. They generally, according to what the WHO is reporting, they're heavier. Those don't stay in the air as long. That's according to what the WHO's reporting, y'all. Listen. Okay. Also, monkeypox can be spread through contact with contaminated materials such as bed sheets and clothing. So it's alive on surfaces is what they're just identifying bed sheets and clothing. Well, that means, again, you got to put your discernment caps on. It's alive and you can catch it by touching surfaces. That they're going to change, most likely they're going to change their report to just say surfaces. Okay? Not just bed sheets and clothing. Again, they're trying to really narrow this down. You ain't going to be able to do that. Okay? And I'll explain why here in a moment. And again, a lot of people are getting infections. They're getting the monkeypox before they get the rash, where they get the flu-like symptoms and whatnot for a while, and then 2 to 3 weeks later, they may develop a rash. Now, here's what I want to focus on, family, right here, right quick. Because I know I'm thinking it, and I'm sure y'all thinking it too. Okay, what do you got to do, or what do you need to do to avoid getting the monkeypox? Right? I'm going to share with you what the CDC says, okay? Y'all got to listen to this one. This is a doozy, okay? The U.S. CDC recommends that people avoid intimate physical contact with individuals who have a rash that looks like monkeypox, and consider minimizing sex with multiple or anonymous partners. People should also consider avoiding sex parties and other events where people aren't wearing a lot of clothing. Let that sit on your spirit, family. Marinate on that like neck bone juice. I'm going to give you the highlights again real quick. Avoid intimate physical contact with individuals who have a rash that looks like monkeypox. Okay, first off, get rid of the looks like monkeypox thing. Avoid intimate physical contact with individuals who have a rash. That's the first thing. Okay, let's chop this up. First off, here you are, you getting ready to go ahead and smash with somebody. Okay, as you're getting started, unless they tell you ahead of time or you ask ahead of time, which is One Brothas Mind's recommendation. Hey, you got no rashes, right? Start asking people. That's the first thing. Nope. And then do mutual inspections before y'all get all comfy with each other. You got to start doing mutual inspections, okay? Just if you see anything that looks like a rash, shut it down. Even if it's just like one bump, shut it down. Okay? That's really what it's boiling down to. In addition, the rest of their recommendation is avoid anonymous partners or multiple or anonymous partners, and then avoid sex parties, whatnot. Okay, all that, but still, this is the only recommendation that the WHO has provided as the means to avoid the monkeypox. Now remember, you also can get it, according to the WHO, on bed sheets. What else did it say? And clothing. Okay? Or in other words, meaning from surfaces. So you ain't even got to smash nobody. If somebody got it and you go, swing through their house, y'all get ready to do something. Just being in their house, touching the couch or whatever, they may have been, who knows what they were doing on that couch before you got there. But you ain't even got to do nothing. You just visit. Be like, we're going to talk about doing something, and then maybe next week we'll see. But just visiting, just touching surfaces, you can end up with the monkeypox. Okay? My point, or the point that I am trying to stress, family, this is all the WHO has recommended. Okay? So what I'm trying to stress with you is the true way of avoiding the monkeypox is abstinence. Yeah, family. Abstinence not only from smashing, but abstinence from being around a lot of people and touching surfaces and all that. That's the true way. In other words, there's no, unless you are being abstinent and you're really limiting the amount of people that you're around and interact with close enough to where you're touching surfaces and things like that, there's no other way to avoid this. Did you catch that? And the only act that you can actually take, only thing you can actually do is check to see if you see a rash, and then say, "No, I'm good," if you see a rash. But here's my question. By the time you expect a person from head to toe looking for rashes, and then you find one, it's pretty much already too late for you. Because you close enough to them to do the inspection. You with them, you touch surfaces, you know, you're lucky if you see a rash and say, "Nah, I'm good," and get out of there and you don't come down. You real lucky. It's almost too late at that point, is what I want you to pay attention to, okay? Also, if you remember, the WHO has reported that you can get, or let's put it this way, some people are getting the rash first, then the flu-like symptoms, and then originally, a lot of people are getting the flu-like symptoms and then the rash. But the WHO is saying that people are not contagious until the rash shows up. KD Smooth disagrees. Okay? Because just like with any other virus that has flu-like symptoms, once you have those flu-like symptoms, you are, said with me now, contagious. Okay? But the information, the L, the I, and the E that the WHO is putting out is trying to suggest that you're not contagious while you have the flu symptoms. So I have to report what the WHO is saying. You're not contagious until you have a rash. That's what they're saying. Are y'all hearing me? Are you listening? Okay. So again, abstinence is really the only way to primarily avoid the monkeypox. Okay? All this, avoid this and avoid that. Hey. All right? Now, with that being said, family, understand this. I mentioned this in one of my previous reports. I'm going to reiterate it again here. Yeah, you see it on your screen. When you have, well, first off, there's no difference between KD Smooth and the various immigrants and refugees that you see on your screen. I'm no better than nobody. They not better than me. All right? So don't think that's where I'm going with this. I say, hey, if they are experiencing persecution and war, and if the U.S. has jacked up their country and got their whole country jacked up to where they can't survive and they can make it over here to the U.S., come on. Hey, I got no problem with that. But you have to understand with that, here in the U.S., immigration, up until the last maybe 10, 15 years, immigration was kept down to a certain level, right? But then it's exploded in like the last 15 years or so. It's exploded, right? And every year it seems to be more and more, right? So there's some things that come with that. Because again, here in the U.S., most of us were, or let's say this, most of us received the ooh-wees, and here at One Brothas Mind, we call those, that's the thing that the government and a lot of your jobs told you y'all had to do, and they wanted to force you to do. You got to go get this in your arm, the ooh-wees. We can't use them words on these YouTube streets out here. Y'all know what it is. Most U.S. citizens had already received all of the ooh-wees, right? And that's why a lot of various different viruses and things like that weren't really rampant here in the U.S., right? But with immigration exploding over the last 10, 15 years, most, or let's say many of the immigrants, they haven't received hardly any of those ooh-wees. So when they get here, and they don't just load them up when they get to the border either. They get here, they actually get in the country and get started doing whatever they doing. And hopefully at some point they get caught up or get the ooh-wees that they don't have or haven't had yet. Okay? But what that does, that brings in a lot of stuff that, again, hasn't been rampant here in the United States for a long time. Okay, you have outbreaks of things. Okay, I don't even think about it. Or if you go back, for those U.S. citizens, go back in your history class, when your boy Columbus and them stumbled upon Turtle Island here, so-called the U.S. continent, and the natives that was here, they was wiping the natives out. Why? Because they brought certain viruses and diseases that the Native Americans did not have over here. So they did not have, immune systems or immunity to these new viruses and diseases that the Europeans brought over here. So they're being wiped out. Well, it's basically the same thing that's happening, y'all. You got a lot of immigrants and refugees coming over here, and they come with viruses and diseases, y'all. Okay, I'm not saying they shouldn't come and something wrong with them or whatever. What should be happening, if it's possible, is they should be at the gate. Y'all want in? Fine. We got 15 shots you got to take right now. That's the price of coming in. And then you got to go into this other little staging area and let them 15 shots marinate in your system for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then we do some testing, run a few tests on you, and then y'all can come in. That's, somewhere along them lines, that's what should be happening, but that's not what's happening. Okay? Just wanted y'all to keep that in mind. Okay? So with that being said, what I want y'all to also focus on, a lot of people are talking about this, but they're not gonna really give you full comprehensive coverage, especially from Yah's perspective or from God's perspective. But you're going to get that here with KD Smooth. We covers it all. Okay? And from Yah's perspective, if you Really think about it. Now understand, monkeypox, people are getting it, and they're getting a rash that lasts about, reportedly about 30 days. Okay? And many of the people, the rashes are visible on your face, your neck, your arms, or your hands. Y'all see the pictures on the internets of people with monkeypox. The bumps be everywhere, right? So, in a sense, think about this now. The monkeypox is a visible mark of fornication and adultery. Yeah. For many, monkeypox is a visible mark of fornication or adultery. One, for people that are not married, if you come down with the monkeypox, according to reports, 9 times out of 10, I mean, they're saying that monkeypox is basically an STD. So if that's true, you're a single person and you come down with the monkeypox and you got a rash, a visible rash, especially if it's visible. That's a visible sign of fornication or a sin. You've been fornicating out there. Okay? And this is all STDs are a consequence of fornication, but this is a new one. And it very well could be visible. You're telling on yourself. Same thing with adultery. You got spouses within marriages. One spouse comes down with the monkeypox. Wait, hold up. How'd that happen? A visible sign of adultery. Y'all been married for however long, and then all of a sudden your wife or your husband got a rash. You're like, wait, what? You thinking we married? I ain't got nothing to worry about. But yet they still come down with a rash. A visible sign, confirmation of sinful behavior. Think about it. There's going to be couples, if this thing keeps progressing as it is, there's going to be couples arguing and fighting and divorcing and all kind of stuff because one of them came down with the monkeypox. And you don't just magically get it. You get it by having close, intimate contact with somebody. Or you can get it from surfaces. Yeah. Chew on that for a while. Let that just let your mind go on that whole concept. Okay? And if in the last, like I said before, in June, the reports was about 3,000 cases globally. In July, we're up to 16,000 cases globally. That's an increase of approximately 13,000 cases in approximately a month. So if it stays or keeps the same growth pattern, we could be almost double or more by the end of August, and so on and so on. It literally could keep doubling every month going forward or growing exponentially. Okay, let that sit on your spirit. All right, now. The WHO, I have to tell y'all, the WHO reports that in so many ways and so many words, they're working on a vaccine. I said that word. An ooey for the monkeypox. They're working on it, right? Trying to get it together, coordinate. And when they get it together very quickly, once again, y'all, are you seeing the same mirror pattern? They're going to say, okay, everybody go get this. Ooh-wee. Everybody go get it. And they're going to say, This is the only way to avoid getting the monkeypox. Just like they said before. Okay? Now, here's one question with that. If their ooh-wee that they come up with is so effective and protective, explain to Katie Smooth why the monkeypox wasn't eliminated in Africa. I'll wait. Yeah. Every reason that you can think of and come up with as to why the monkeypox wasn't eliminated completely in Africa, those same reasons and others is why it's not gonna eliminate it nowhere else in the world now. I mean, think about it. Okay? So you have to have that perspective. It's here. It is here to stay. Now, it may not completely, expand to where it's worse than what it is right now today. Okay, fine. But then again, it can expand to who knows how big of a epidemic. I mean, the WHO is the rate that it's going, it's expanding. It's more than doubling in a month. And some of you may have seen reports. Like I said, there was a lady that put out a report. She had it on TikTok, and YouTube been taking that down. So that's why I don't have it in this video. But she went to like 4 different doctors with the rash, pretty much begging them to test her for monkeypox, and they all refused. Partly because most of those doctors, offices and whatnot, they didn't even have a test for it. They didn't even know where to send a test to get it samples tested. And she ended up, she called the CDC, she called everybody. And I forget who tested her last and where she finally ended up getting a test. She listed, go to TikTok and pull it up. Her face is all swole up and rashed up. Caucasian sister, but she finally got with somebody that finally tested her weeks later, and it was confirmed that she had monkeypox. Okay? So basically what I'm saying, y'all, is right now today, and it's going to be that way for the next few weeks, if you catch the monkeypox, you pretty much on your own. Now, thankfully, it only lasts reportedly about 30 days as far as the rash goes. Sounds like the flu symptoms plus the rash, you're looking at about 6-7 weeks of just feeling like crap, where you really, if y'all come down with something, don't go to work, y'all. Just stop doing that. I know you try to pay your bills. It's just a cough, it's just a cold. No, don't go to work. You're jacking everybody else up, coughing on people's food or whatever you doing on the keyboard or whatever. Stop it. Ultimately, family, and I think this is going to be further down the road, but we're going to get to where employees are going to have to be tested every day in many ways before they actually come into the office or come into work. Trying to avoid people coming to work ill, because people still do that. Okay? Same thing with schools and all that, right? But that's a little further down, because there's going to be so many viruses and things, and it's going to continue to cause so much of a problem. You're going to have to get to that point, family. And speaking of schools, think about this. like I said, as soon as they come up with this ooh-wee for this thing, guess what the school systems and the workplaces are going to say you got to do before you can come back to them? Right. They're going to say it's required. And again, I go back to the original question that I asked. If the ooh-wees work so good, why did the ooh-wees not eliminate completely the monkeypox in Africa? Yeah. You got to ask a lot of questions, family. Use your discernment. Figure this thing out. Okay? So, just wanted to do an update, y'all. It's not looking good. And lastly, before I go into this, y'all, please, again, remember to smash the like, share with all your peoples on all of your social media. And make sure you're subscribed to One Brothas Mind. Okay? Hey, also, you know, YouTube, they got us on a shadow ban. They're shadow banning us here on YouTube because they don't want. They're doing everything they can to keep the B1 community from sharing real facts and information you need. Okay? I mean, you could take 2 or 3 different devices and do a search right now on YouTube and type in One Brothas Mind, just as it's spelled. Okay? And not only would my channel not show up, but none of my videos will come up on some of those devices. It shows, and if you did that, that's the way you can see how we are shadow banned. And it ain't just One Brothas Mind is shadow banned. It's most B1, the new black media channels that are on YouTube. This is what they're doing. We know why they're doing it, but if you really want to make them mad, you really want to piss them off, family, share the videos with your peoples, with your family on all your social media. They're doing everything they can to keep us B1 channels and the new black media channels from growing. That's what they're doing. And having the reach that we normally would have if we weren't being shadow banned. Okay? But you can bypass all that. Again, as long as you're sharing the channel and the videos with all your people on all your social media, get it out there. And, you know, and if you're listening because somebody shared a video with you, if you appreciate the content, the information, subscribe so you can get up to speed on a lot of the information that's not being reported in mainstream media to you. Okay? But here in closing, family, again, we're going to also give you what most people are not. Everybody's just giving you their opinion. KD Smooth is always going to try to give you y'all's opinion. Okay? And for those of you that already know, here we're looking at the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7 through 8. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation. That's happening. And kingdom against kingdom. That's happening. And there shall be famines. That's happening and getting worse. And pestilences. That's what we're talking about here today, family. That's what that thing that took out over 1 million people, the Predator, and counting. It took out over 1 million people and counting so far here in the U.S. Pestilences, viruses. That's happening. And earthquakes in diverse places. That's happening. You say, well, what are you trying to say? This is prophecy right out of scripture for those that don't know. Word for word. Look it up. Open your Bible. Go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 7 and 8. Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Which is why I keep trying to tell y'all think it's bad now? It's going to get so much worse. Because these things are just the beginning. It's not my words. This is what Yah says, or for what God is saying in Scripture. So, I'm not Nostradamus. I ain't gotta be. I can just read Scripture and tell you what's about to happen and what's coming. Okay? So, y'all let that set on your spirit like neck bone juice. Okay? Marinate on that. Start to make a plan. Y'all figure out what y'all gonna do. How y'all gonna avoid the monkeypox? And, the problems that are coming. Remember, for many people, it's going to be a visible sign of sin. Think about that. I mean, there's always been STDs, but all the previous STDs, for the most part, there was no visible sign. I mean, yeah, on your genitalia or whatever, but that's still private. You got your clothes on. That's covered up. Right? Whereas this one, people got monkeypox all over the body, all over the face, arms, whatever, wherever the rash shows up. Right? So for those people, it's going to be a visible sign of sin. Think about that. Up till now, y'all's been allowed everybody to get their little whatevers they picked up, go to the clinic, get their little treatment, and go home in private. Them days are over. Especially as long as the monkeypox keeps more than doubling as it spreads across the globe. And I'd be remiss, y'all, the monkeypox is a virus. Viruses mutate. Even the WHO is, in other reports, are telling people, hey, the current version that's spreading around the globe, especially in Europe, it's behaving and showing up differently than what they're used to as far as what showed up in Africa. That means that's confirmation it has mutated to try to get stronger and more resistive to, whatever you can use to try to get rid of it. Okay? But again, according with the way it's showing up, it's going to be a visible sign of sin. The people can just see from a distance. Ooh. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it right there. I want y'all to let's chop it up in the comments on this. Let me know what y'all think. What's your plan? How you plan on avoiding this and dealing with the fallout from all this? Because even if you don't get the monkeypox, like I said, when they come up with that ooey, they're gonna run it the same hustle. It's required. You gotta go get it. You gotta go. You gotta have it for your kids to go. Your kids gotta get it for them to come to school. You better start making these decisions now, so when this stuff comes, when these times, when it gets to those points, you already know which decision you're gonna make. Hey, whatever decision you want to make, hey, do you, no judgment here. I just know Katie Smooth don't get down like that. Katie Smooth house, we don't get down like that. So, again, let's chop it up in the comments on this. Let me know what y'all think. And we'll take it from there, okay? And this concludes this broadcast for One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory. And being on code is required. But never fear, Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.